Hello folks, welcome to another video as the sun rises over the hills in the east, as the sun typically does. Hope this one finds you well folks, or at least cancer free. Hey, it's going around a bit at the moment, the big C. As I filmed this one, just hearing word that Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine, is being treated for cancer. Exactly which cancer it's not clear. She hasn't announced that, but yes, comes as a bit of a shock, I'm sure, to her more than anyone else. Her father-in-law, King Charlie, also being treated for cancer. Regardless of what you feel about the royal family, and I don't have any strong views either way, really. And she's a young woman with a young family. I'm sure most reasonable people that have compassion would wish her well. Unfortunately, I think that her taking time out from public life has probably brought to the surface just how many unreasonable people there are in the world. Absolute dickheads out there on social media. I think social media on balance, well, it's made the world dumber, folks. In an old man's perspective, I've lived through a few developments in society. I think social media on balance has made the world dumber, or has given a platform for the stupid, dumb, hate-filled morons of the world. It's given them a voice. Kind of wish that voice could be taken away sometimes, but you can take it away, folks. You can simply ignore it and go and do something else with your life, like fire up the flight simulator, as I'm doing today. Folks, the aircraft on your screen, that's a beautiful sunrise, eh? I'm leaving the camera positioned here just to see the sunrise over the hills. If you get an opportunity in life to witness a sunrise, don't run away from it. Experience it. It's a beautiful thing. Sunrise and sunset, there's something special about it. So I'm taking an opportunity just to bask in the glow of the sunrise this morning. The aircraft on your screen is an A320. We're not short of A320s in this sim. It's a case of too many A320s is barely enough. We've got another one, or should I say this one's come back. This is the iniBuilds A320 Neo. It's been reintroduced in the Sim Update 15 beta. I haven't flown it. I don't know anything about it other than it's an A320. I have started this flight, I've started this video with no background knowledge as to what they've actually done to this aircraft. I do know that it was released in a previous sim update, then it was removed, I think, because it wasn't up to snuff for whatever reason. I think performance-wise, from memory. I'm guessing they improved the performance of it. I don't know. I undertake this flight with no background knowledge, so just bear that in mind. This is not a review, folks, by any stretch of the imagination. It'll barely even qualify as a first impressions. It's just an old bloke going for a fly to escape the morons on social media. That's what it is. So we're going to take this thing on a flight. For those of you that are kind of not participating in the beta and are wondering what's happening, this one's coming your way. I think the beta is going to be released for general use. What's that called? General release? Production release? I don't know. Shortly. But in advance of that, I thought this is a bit of a preview for you. So let me show you the flight plan, where we are and where we're going, and we're going to get underway. And here is the flight plan in little nav map. We are back down under this fine morn, folks, in the west of the country, far west of the country. We're going to begin our journey. The capital of Western Australia, being the beautiful city of Perth. We're going to make a standard instrument departure otherwise known as a Sid to the cool kids, out of Perth, and kind of head in a northerly direction for around about 730 miles over a whole lot of red dirt. Our journey takes us in a pretty straight sort of line, really. Overhead, sort of Parabadoo, or adjacent to Parabadoo, mining country up here. And before we're going to make an RNAV approach, looks like runway 14 in the town of Port Hedland. Port Hedland. We do have custom freeware at either end. I'll link to that in the description if I can remember to put it in. The custom freeware at Port Hedland is done by Mr. Cool Guns, who I featured in a recent video. It's one of his set. Quite impressed with his work. He's got a few that he's given attention to here in the West, worth picking up. We'll link to his Port Hedland scenery in the description. So that's the flight plan, folks. 730 miles. We're in the iniBuilds A320. I really have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to take it for a bit of a spin, see what happens. Let's go flying. All right, welcome on board, folks. Here we are. We'll just take a bit of a squiz at the VC, if you don't mind, texturing and all that sort of stuff. Now, I don't really have a great reference to call upon here in terms of A320 knowledge. I've flown the A320, the fly-by-wire one. I haven't flown the other default Asobo one. I don't have the Phoenix. I don't have the Latin VFR. Is there another A320? I don't know, there might be. I don't have that either anyway. So I don't have a great point of reference. There's probably going to be some other videos on the tube if you want to get sort of comparisons and informed views on where this one stands. But this is it. Look, it looks like an A320 for mine. I'm going to say the textures are pretty decent, really. But again, without really having much of a point of reference. It does come with a tablet, which is down here. Those of you that like such things, and there are people that simmers out there that absolutely look for tablets, or EFBs as the cool kids call them. Well, you get one here. This is the iniBuilds version. Flight details on the front. You can link it to SimBrief. I'm not using SimBrief these days, so no flight number or alternate plugged in yet, but we are going from Perth to Hedland. We can refresh the weather by the looks of it. There we go. We've now got an easterly breeze blowing at Perth. We're planning a departure of 03. That's fine. And what have we got? A southeasterly at Hedland, which is fine. OFP, that's coming from SimBrief. Can't show you that. Ground, I've got the door open. The GPU, the chocks are in. I can switch cabin lights on here as well. Okay. Luggage, pushback, catering, all that sort of stuff. What does that actually do? Toggle catering. What does that do? Do we have to go outside? Okay, so the rear door opens up and the catering truck shows up. There we go. You learn something new every day. You can teach an old dog new tricks. There we go. For those of you that don't have that, what's it called? Oh, that other thing. That other add-on that does all this sort of stuff. I can't remember, folks. I'm old and it's really early in the morning, so... Anyway, it's taking his time, old catering truck mate. While he's doing that, we'll jump back... not that one. Where's the view? That one there. Cabin lights. Can we turn them on, can we? Alright. So what happens if I toggle luggage? The other door opens, does it? The cargo door? What's happening? There it is. Oh, easily distracted, folks. Oh, we've gone behind something. There we go. We'll get rid of that sun as well for you so you don't have to squint at your screen. They take their time, don't they? Hey, they're not in a rush. Must be getting paid by the hour, these buggers. We've got catering happening. That's pretty cool. But again, easily pleased, folks. Jump back inside. Payload. So I've configured it about 120 packs, a little bit of cargo. I've put 6.8 tons in it. Click apply load and you've got some options. So realistic, 40 minutes. Bloody hell, everyone's on a go slow. Over here in the West, eh? It's just a leisurely Perth time, you know what I mean? Fast or instant, whatever. I'll just go instant. It's already been applied. It shows you CG and that sort of stuff. confirmation. There's your load sheet for those of you that worry about those things. You've got panel states, cold and dark. We're cold and dark today. APU and rah. Takeoff, some performance numbers. I'm not sure why it's got runway 24. Maybe it wants me on 24, but that definitely, the prevailing conditions does not suit 24. And some options. What are the options? Okay, this is where you put in your sim brief name, units, IRS align time, linking instruments. Oh, geez, an ISIS. What's ISIS got to do with this? ISIS. In a simulator. Rudder controls, tiller. I'm going to go yes. I don't have a tiller. A little bit of hardware anyway. Auto tiller disconnect. 0 fuel weight entry. Whatever. Reset brake temp and throttle settings. I'll probably have to configure those. I'll do that off camera though, folks. There you go. What else can I show you in here? Overhead looks like that. So what I might do is get some stuff happening. Hey, what do you reckon? Turn some stuff on, get some alignments happening while we can. There we go. Don't know how the sounds stack up against other versions. I no idea. Can't comment. I can't really hear the sounds anyway. I'll leave that for others. The texturing wise, it looks all right to tired old eyes like mine. Yeah, there you go. The McDoos and the screens and all that stuff. Looks like an A320 for mine, folks. I'll get us configured here and out onto a runway. We'll head off towards Port Hedland. Alright, welcome back on board, folks. Cut out all of the nonsense configuration stuff. You're welcome. Just wanted to call out a couple of things that sort of came to my attention as being positives. Takeoff calculator. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's quite helpful. It's calculated some stuff for me, given me some speeds. It's given me a flex temp, and it's given me a trim setting as well. So yeah, and that's all kind of plugged it. You can send it through clicking this button, and yeah, it also plots it visually as well. So I'm taking that we've got, my interpretation of that visual is that we've got plenty of runway, basically, and it plugs it in down here. Independent screen, so I can plug or show the flight plan legs over here and the performance here for those of you that are interested in such things. That's something that I like. I like that flexibility. You don't get that in the fly-by-wire one. You probably do get it in the Phoenix. I don't know, but I'm just calling it out. Anyway, folks, I think we're pretty much right to go. We've got the APU bleed happening. We've got seatbelt signs on. Flight level 390 is plugged in. I think everything looks pretty good. I like the screens. The readability of everything's pretty nice. Yeah, so look, so far so good. Those blades are spinning a little more than I would expect. We haven't started the engines. We got some APU blur, we do. There we go. I can't really comment on the external textures. I mean, it looks alright for mine. There are other people that really do care more about these things and notice things that I don't, but it looks like an A320, the old world travel livery. I see that King and I are up front. Oh, where am I? Oh God, my apologies, folks. Anyway, there's a virtual dog and a much younger version of yours truly sitting up front. Folks, I'll get us out onto runway 03. Let's go flying, hey? Quite a long taxi down to the end of 03 here in Perth. Beautiful morning though. Over here in the west. Shout out to all of my Sandgroper viewers. Hope you're enjoying your simming. What's news over in the west? What's happening? Anything interesting? It's a rhetorical question, folks. You don't need to answer. So we're going to have a crosswind. Yeah, we do. according to that windsock and according to what I saw on the tablet. What a strong easterly breeze blowing here this morning. What I will say, in terms of the taxi experience, we're tracking pretty much straight down the line here, give or take a couple of metres. It's quite sensitive. So I've got my rudder pedals operating as the tiller. I'm barely moving my rudder pedals and we're kind of fishtailing all over the place. It feels quite sensitive compared to, say, the fly-by-wire, which is really my only point of reference. Yeah, it feels a little different. Again, can't comment on its accuracy, just giving an opinion and observation for what it's worth. That windsock's almost horizontal. Performance-wise, difficult to tell. I've got my frames locked. I'm not seeing any noticeable drops or dips in the frames, for what it's worth. I think we're pretty much right to go here. We've got all the greens, takeoff no blue, as those cool kids say. We've finally made it down to the bottom of 03. We've got flaps set, we've got spoilers on, we've got auto brakes maxed, we've got our box sorted. See how we go getting around this corner, hey? 03. Now we'll go landing lights as we do that. Landing lights can come on. Yeah, runway turn-off lights probably should be on as well. Let's keep trucking around. Now we're going to be flexing to 58. That's what the FB wanted. Who am I to argue? I set my views up correctly? Yeah, there we go. Runway 03 Perth, folks. That's how she looks. Alright. You guys got public transport, like a train going to Perth Airport these days? It's been a while since I've been there. I know it was in the plan. Anyway, so our departure takes us righto. So it's kind of manual and then Woora. Righto, so the Perth 7 departure. Make sure we've got everything right. I've just noticed the terrain is inop. What's going on there? I wonder if the weather radar works in this thing. It doesn't in the fly-by-wire. Okay, I think we're right. Yeah? I'm going to call it that we're right, folks. Let's see if I've got my throttles sorted, hey? We'll spool them up a little bit to about there. We'll go chrono there, and we'll go chrono here, and we'll see if we can get to flexing. Are we flexing? Where's our flex? Are we flexing? We're not flexing. Where's our flex? We're going to have to go toga. Alright, so the flex detent's not happening for me. SRS, that's good enough. We're man toga. Good enough for me. 80 knots, almost 100. We're rotating at about 140 something. Tracking the centerline well enough. And we'll rotate around about there. Ooh, geez, you're sluggish in pitch. Positive rate and all that. And navving. Really heavy in pitch, at least on my rig. Quite strong crosswind there. Right out to about 1,000 feet. I don't know, do those sounds, how do they sound to you? I got no idea. Just keep trucking sort of runway here, this for a while. Flaps need to come up as well. We'll come back into the climb D10. If I've got climb, there we go. We do have climb. We'll get Georgie in command, autopilot engaged. Come down, we'll go. Yeah, I know that. Where's my flight plan? Can I go direct Woora? Direct Woora. That's what I want. Thank you. Woora. Thanks, Georgie. Taking external for you, folks. Yeah, a bit sloppy at departure. Certainly not an A320 aficionado. Beautiful Swan River, Perth CBD, stadiums, etc. Beautiful part of there, beautiful beaches over here. Beaches. The beaches might be beautiful as well. I don't know, I never spent long enough in Perth to comment on the beaches, but the beaches, I'll be rebelling myself off. Safely away, folks, on our way to Port Hedland. I'll join you again en route. Chat about something or other. Might be A320 related, probably not. We'll see you in the cruise. Alright, settled nicely in the cruise up here at flight level 390. Took us a little while to get up here this morning, probably about 25 minutes to reach our cruise. That's probably because I've got quite a high cost index set, I'm guessing. We were struggling sort of 500 feet a minute towards the end. But now that we're up here, everything's going quite well. I mean, it's so far so good, really, overall. I haven't noticed anything, any showstoppers. I called out sort of the taxi, the feel of the taxi. It did feel heavy during rotation, but that might just be the way that I've got my hardware configured. Couldn't get the Flex detent to take. That's probably user error. But yeah, I mean, in terms of sim performance, I don't notice anything about this aeroplane that's different to any of the other aeroplanes that I have. Right, so if there was a performance issue, an FPS issue with the first version of this that they released, I can only guess that they've improved it. But I never flew the first version, so yeah, no vices that are noticeable. Jump outside. The only thing that kind of seems a little strange is it's quite a high deck angle here, right? Well, from mine it is anyway. What nose up? What's our PFD say? Almost 5 degrees nose up. Is that right? Is that what it should be? It seems a little high for mine, but then again, I haven't been flying airliners. I haven't been doing a lot of flying at all, actually, to be honest. Yeah, maybe once or twice a week. Jump in. Yeah, there's reasons for that. But anyway, so far so good with all of those observations made. We are on our way to Port Hedland. I'll join you again closer to our descent. Not too far to go now, folks. We're about, what have we got? Performance-wise, we've got 60 miles to Toddy. Just past Gouda, top of descent. We'll be on our way down. RNAV approach to runway 14 at Hedland. We've got the numbers plugged in to the box. The approach page. The QNH 1012 is quite warm there. It's going to be getting warmer. Probably closer to 32 degrees by the time we actually touch down. The wind is holding up pretty well at it's a southeasterly sort of 14 knots. Transition, we're going to be landing with a full config. VAP of 128. We've got a Barrow plugged in. I just picked that number out of my ass. Everything else has been going well. There's nothing here that's causing me any concern. I'm not exploring the details. I'm not exploring the systems. I don't care about those things. There are some that do, and there'll be other videos that appear on the tube that will, if you're interested in that, people who actually, most videos that are made by actual A320 pilots that will help you explore this aircraft in more detail than what I do. But for what it's worth, remembering that this is a free aircraft, for what it's worth, I think it appears to be quite decent. But I'm sure that someone in the community, or someone's in the community, will find a lot of fault with the aircraft, and they will complain about there being too many A320s in this sim. If you're an A320 lover, it's not going to be a complaint. you can't get enough of the things. We should be grateful as a community. This is the golden age of flight simulation. In my humble opinion, we've got aircraft of all makes and models already available. We've got this simulator available to millions of people via Xbox as well. Heck, be grateful, folks. There are people that have real problems in life. I spoke earlier of Princess Catherine. She's far from being alone in experiencing the big sea, and you know, in her situation, she's going to receive the very best of care and support. No doubt about it. The majority of the world, when the big sea comes knocking, it's tougher for a whole bunch of reasons, and I'm sure that everyone listening to this either has experienced a bout with cancer or knows someone who has. It's a terrible thing to experience. It's taken so many good people over the years. I'm remembering one right now as I say these words. One of the best people I met in my life, taken way too soon, way too early. She had a lot more to offer the world. The world is a less place for her departure. She was very kind to me at a point in my life where perhaps I didn't deserve it. And she is deeply missed, and I'm sure that if you reflect on your life, no matter what your age or situation, there's probably someone in your life that you can think of in those terms as well. On that slightly sombre note, I'll soon begin our descent into Port Hedland. We're flying an RNAV, runway 14 is the plan. So something else that I will call out is that this has been a steep descent. We're currently just touching 4,000 feet a minute in idle. We're doing about 335 knots IAS. We are screaming down, having to use speed brake quite liberally here, having to use it again. Not sure whether that's by design. It just seems to be quite steep and quite fast on the descent. I don't know if the top of descent calculation was out. Did we leave that too late? I basically started descent a couple of miles before the toddy marker, but did the aircraft calculate toddy incorrectly? I'm not sure. I'll bring the speed brake back in. Yep, they're coming back in. Yeah, just something I thought worth calling out. Steep descent. We'll see you for the concluding stages, folks.